First walked in the EMS 2002 and really just wanted to do something to give back to the community. I thought it'd be a good hobby, and I liked the angle of doing something for the community. Fitchburg wasn't really they didn't need any volunteers at the time, so I went out and worked for Cross Plains, but I was persistent, and I finally got a chance to get into Fitchburg as a volunteer in late 2002, and pretty much kind of took over the volunteer ranks over there and became the volunteer coordinator. I'm always looking for something else to do, and I've got a business background, so I was interested in seeing what I could do to help the community. And so one thing led to another, and after about 3 years of being the volunteer coordinator there, they were without a chief, and they were looking for a part-time chief. And that doesn't have a big draw from all over. There were several candidates, but my business background and my familiarity with Fitchburg, I think, led to them hiring me as chief in 2005. Well, you certainly have to make sure the scheduling is appropriate. You have always 24 hours a day, you've got to have 4 paramedics on those rigs. So scheduling is a big part of it. The political aspect was a big part of it too that I really didn't appreciate when I first came on board. We're a district organization, so we have 3 participating municipalities. So when I want to go talk to the mayor of one city, I have to go to talk to the 2 mayors and 1 town board and chairman, and so it takes a little bit more to get the communications and to get the access from a situation like that. So the politics was a pretty big part of it. Evolving professionalism. There's always been a very good reputation here at Fitchburg. We've always been good paramedics, good professionals, but the training has continued to evolve, and continuous improvement is the big kind of thing that we're after here. So our medics have been here a long time, 12.5 years, and so they've had 12.5 years of training, and that's training with the Dane County ALS Consortium, that's training directly with our medical directors, and it's also our own internal training. So the quest for medical knowledge here is kind of unseen elsewhere. I really have a lot of respect for the medics and their level of skill and professionalism. Across the nation, a paramedic, average time a paramedic is in the business is less than 5 years now. So to be double that plus more is pretty incredible. And the experience you build there, it really takes hundreds of calls before a paramedic really gets their feet underneath them and can generate the compassion that our clients are looking for, that our patients are looking for. So that's been a very interesting thing to watch, and the hunger that these paramedics have for staying on top of their game is pretty incredible. Well, I think one of the most important changes was dropping the boundaries on high acuity calls. So it used to be that Fitchburg would only go within, we've got about 90 square miles, we'd only go within those 90 square miles. But now, if there's a high acuity call, the closest level ambulance, regardless of border, is dispatched. And that's probably been one of the best things for patient care that's gone on. Another thing that Dane County has done is it's an automatic aid situation. So if in any community, let's say down in Belleville, they have basic level ambulance, they do a great job down there, but if they get a high acuity call that really needs the services of a paramedic, we're immediately dispatched on 17 different calls. And now we might get called off on the way down there, but at least we've mobilized, we're on our way. So that automatic aid has been tremendous. I think the dropping the borders and the automatic aid are things that really come back, not to this department, but to patient care. And that's actually what we're all after, is always improving patient care. So those have been 2 of the big things. Recently, across the country, community paramedic or mobile integrated healthcare has been a kind of the buzzword. And what that's doing is it's allowing us to be proactive in the emergency medical field. So we'll see people that really need some help. Maybe they're falling through the cracks. They don't understand or don't have access to some of the many wonderful benefits that are available throughout Dane County, for instance. Our medics can go out and talk to them and make sure that they're getting their prescriptions filled, make sure that they're getting the walker that their doctor talked to them about, really overcome some medical illiteracy that's going on after discharge. And I think that's where you're going to see Fitchburg and all EMS really moving in the coming years, to the point where we should have social workers. We should be doing a lot of work that prevents the emergency call. That helps our capacity, it helps the capacity of the emergency rooms, but it really helps those individuals. Right now we're working with the UW UW Health on a dementia study program. And again, we're talking to patients and their caregivers, trying to keep them in their homes for a couple of years longer than they might otherwise be there. There's really nobody else that's qualified and able to do that kind of work. And that's that community paramedicine. It's going through the state right now to get the licensing and the protocols, but we're ahead of the game, and we're out there talking with recently discharged patients from the hospitals. We're also dealing with some people, there are people that we see 5, 6, 7 times a month. So we're trying to deal with them individually to ask them, what can we do to reduce your reliance on ALS services? Well, the bike medic is a big one. One of the things that we need to do is be out in the community so people recognize who we are. We've actually gone in and read to kids in the elementary schools, just so they see an ambulance and people in a uniform come in, and it's all good. Because a lot of times a kid would only see an ambulance when maybe one of their parents are coming in and need to get taken to the hospital. So we're trying to break that down. We're trying to be in the point where our services may be needed, and the bike medic is a perfect way. So when we're at the concert nights in the communities, when there's the hometown days, when there's maybe the night out against crime, we've got our bike medics out there, and they're just out there trying to educate people, trying to break down any barriers, and also trying to be in the spot before the emergency happens. Well, it's been a tremendous honor for me to be in this position, not only to be a chief at any position, but to be the chief of Fitchburg EMS has been really remarkable. And the accolades tend to come to the chief. But really, in all honesty, it is the people that work here. We've got 14 full-time medics. We've got 2 deputy chiefs. That's where it happens every day. I've always thought my job is to make sure that the funding is there to have the right equipment, and that we pay these people an honest wage, and that we take care of them across the board. And then I have to kind of get back out of the picture. It's those people that arrive on your doorstep when you need it. Those are the people that really deserve the accolades. The chief's position is the orchestra leader, but it's the work that gets done out there on the streets every day. Really take advantage of the tremendous assets that we have here. Continue the improvement process that we have. We've always been really well connected within Dane County, so the various meetings that go on in the future, the protocol developments, the medical direction, we need to continue to be involved with that. You can't just sit out here in Fitchburg and Verona and town of Verona. That's not what the chief's position is. We have to be advocates for our medics and in the greater Dane County area, and then we have to be looking for ways to improve that emergent situation for each individual. Maybe we can even prevent some of them from happening, but it's got to be everybody, regardless of the call that we go out to, it's their personal emergency, and we have to pay attention to that. So I'm confident that the professionalism and the drive to ever improve will continue here, and I think you'll see Fitchburg maintain its level really at the top of its game. Well, I still have a business that I own in Middleton, and so we'll concentrate on that, but I've got 2 grandchildren with a 3rd on the way, and as I said to the commission the other night, they need somebody to tie their skates and to show them how to catch a fish, do a few of those things. So I'm pretty anxious to take some time away and get away from the political structure. I think that's something that you take home, and those are the things that keep you up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, making sure that everything is working right. It'll be nice to kind of de-stress and get away from all of that and really enjoy the family. I'd just like to reiterate that working with the 3 communities has been really my pleasure. We have gotten the funding that we needed. Not all of the funding we need, but that's understandable. There's a lot of competing things here. But public safety, in particular EMS, is really it's almost a forgotten part of the public safety out there, because a lot of times people think we're part of the fire department, and people often think of the law enforcement, but EMS does an incredible job, and I think that's becoming a little bit more evident to people every day. But I will miss all of the people that I work with in the communities, out in the various departments that we work with, everybody we interact. It's going to be hard to reinvent myself here without having that whole connection.